So again, going back to the narrative of no food is right or wrong, or no food is good or bad. Of course, let's say packaged food will have, so if you're looking at like a quintessential Maggie or something like that, it will have a high amount of sodium, it will be slightly higher in calories. But again, I mean, telling yourself that you can't eat it, I think that's just wrong, because then you're going to want to eat it more, right? If you're craving something like a Maggie, please go ahead and eat it, because you'll eat it once and eat it mindfully, keeping in mind your hunger satiety cues and leaving guilt at the door. You're going to be fully satisfied and you're not going to want to eat it again. So it's the same idea of, supposing I start telling you, okay, you can start eat as many donuts as you want, and you're going to eat it once, you're going to eat it twice, you're going to eat it thrice. But what's going to happen the fourth time is your body is also going to crave something more nutrient dense and something more healthy per se, and you want to go back to a salad, you want to go back to your dal chawal. So just, I think it takes up lesser space to give in to what you feel like eating at that amount of time, and then make sure for the most part you're still eating nutrient rich foods. So again, it depends on an individual. It's very, very individualistic, right? I cannot give you an umbrella answer saying it's okay or it's not okay, because I have to see that entire person's diet. But on the whole, it's okay, as long as in the day, maybe we can have a day checklist. In the day I'm eating X, Y, Z, then you're fine. It should be fine. There's no hard and fast rule. It's just that you need to know and be aware of the various nutrients, what they do to your body, and make sure you're having them appropriately. So the problem with experimenting with diet plans that are either restrictive or calorie wise, or restrictive food group wise is more dangerous, is that you get on this diet plan, you lose weight, then you'll stop the diet plan, then again you'll put on some weight, and then again you go on another diet plan and you lose weight again, but that weight that you are on is never going to be the same weight that you started off with. So this entire thing is called weight cycling, where you're, on the whole, once you keep going on and off diets, which I think we discussed last time also, when you keep going on and off diets, what ends up happening is that you end up at a much higher weight than you started off on, which is one of the biggest side effects of going on and off diets in the first place, which is why we don't recommend them.
Also, besides that, you do, and my take on it as a doctor is that when you do try a certain type of diet, you are restricting your body completely of one group of nutrients.
Yeah,
If not one, you're restricting more, and then there are subtle signs of vitamin deficiencies that you don't understand that you're having. And that also does some damage to you. So you may not know that you have a B12 deficiency and that you are anemic, because mild anemia, you may not even experience symptoms. You may not even get yourself checked that often. Or a vitamin D or a calcium deficiency. So that is also one reason why I'm scared of fat diets.
Especially, yeah, I think in India as well, where anemia is such a big issue. You have so many young girls with anemia. That is just, I think, restricting an entire food group. If any diet is restricting an entire food group, I think you will have to cross-check it again and figure out whether it's, actually holding water in the scientific arena, and does it actually make sense to do.
Yeah.
So we had a whole discussion on this last time. Unfortunately, to just sum it up, unfortunately, there's not enough research to show that a particular type of intermittent fasting is healthy. A lot of the scientific studies have been done, let's say, on autophagy, and all of them have been done on rat studies. They have not yet been done on human studies. There have been very small sample sizes or small human trials that have been done. Scientists are looking into intermittent fasting. They're looking into time-restricted eating. And so far, what we've kind of come across or kind of can conclude is that we need to try to get in tune with our body clock. And it releases certain hormones at certain times. So the conclusion can be that we should eat a good amount of our calories in the early part of the day. Try to not have a late dinner, but nothing too strict or nothing too hard and fast. From purely a research point of view, this is what it is. This is where we're at.
Yeah, don't time your body, just listen to it. Is the biggest take-home message.
Because we're not, so we have three main macronutrients that our body requires, right? We have the carbohydrates, we have the proteins, we have the fats. If you're having a fruit diet, you're probably only having carbohydrates. You're not having any proteins, and you're not having too much fat, right? So your proteins is required, is like is required for the structural part of your body. It's also required to make so many different hormones. So are the fats required to make so many different hormones, especially for women. Fats is so important because it has a huge role to play in your entire menstrual cycle, hormones, all of that as well. So if you're not getting the food from outside, if you're not getting the protein from outside, what your body's going to end up doing is it's going to start breaking down your own muscles or your own reserves, body reserves, which we don't want. It's like using this is a common thing that we talk about. It's like using the pillars of the house that hold the house to fuel the fire inside the house, which is a ridiculous and redundant thing to do.
Yeah. So my 2 cents on this question is that, like we mentioned back again, if you're having just a fruit diet, you miss on like a crucial thing like proteins, like she said, and you're going to end up with a loss of energy. You're going to end up with poor strength overall. So the goal of your diet, if the goal of your diet was to look good or to lose weight, it was not to lose strength or to reduce your immunity, because proteins do your immunoglobulins in your body are proteins. So proteins do play a good role in your immunity building as well. And if you're not going to eat them, your immunity is also likely to take a hit.
I think that's a good point. It's a good time to talk about how we look at health as like the only marker of. I'm sorry, we look at weight as the only marker of health, when it's really not. It's one of the many markers of health that have its plus points and its minus points, right? So weight is just one marker of health. We also have something like waist to hip ratio. We also have something like the whole biochemical profile of someone, right? We have so many. We have grip strength, which is going to significantly reduce when grip strength, which is basically your muscle power that it tests, it's going to significantly reduce if someone is on a very restricted diet. So don't stop carbs. Carbs are not bad for you at all. You're not supposed to stop any kind of food group. You're not supposed to restrict any kind of food group. If we're talking about rice, maybe a good idea can be, and again, rice is not bad at all. There's a reason that we have rice is an important part of our cultural meals as well. It's just that maybe what we can do is to reduce our dependency on a certain food group, and it's not only carbs, it's even proteins, right? Excess protein is also not a great thing either, is by crowding that plate. So it's not only the rice that you're eating. Maybe we can have the rice, we can also have some of the dal, we can also have some of the vegetables, we can also have some curd. So it becomes a varied or a balanced plate per se, without that over dependence on a certain type of food. And there is that variety. I think variety is such an important part of a balanced diet. It depends have you lost weight and then you're putting on weight, or are you actually just a thin body frame? The different types of body structures as well. You have the endomorphic, ectomorphic kind of body structures, where like there are some people, how much of they try, they can't put on too much weight. And part of it is of course accepting our genetic makeup, and part of it is of course we need to be of an optimal or a healthy weight for our body functions. So if it's the second case, then maybe try again being able to have more amount of healthy fats, including let's say more calories in the form of carbohydrates in your food. Are you eating enough? That is another issue. So those 3 meals in the day with a nice satisfying snack in the middle, all of that. The fact that your body is at this particular weight, there may be a certain reason to it, maybe a genetic reason, maybe you haven't been able to inculcate or put in the dietary recommendations that dietitians have told you, or it's I think it's multifactorial, and we'd have to look at it at an individual level. I cannot answer this question on a webinar. So exercise, I think we always conflate exercise to weight loss. If you have to exercise only if you want to lose weight, or if you're thin, then you don't have to exercise. And I think that's an absolutely wrong narrative that we're having about exercise, because regardless of the weight, exercise has numerous other benefits. Right, you know that, I know that, all of us know that it's great for like your cardiometabolic health. It's great to balance your hormones. It's great for your mental health, for your mood. It has so many other benefits that we need to be exercising regardless. And again, like, it's not a military rule that you have to hit the gym. There are so many other ways of moving as well, which is why I don't like using exercise, because it's got the status of going to the gym and sweating it out. I think it's time we start looking at movement, okay, let's call it movement, to be joyful, right? That's when it's going to stick in the long run. It's not going to stick otherwise. It's not that just because XYZ went to the gym and now XYZ feels like this, then I'm going to go. No, you have to find something, or you have to find a movement that you enjoy, that's when it becomes a part of your lifestyle. That's when it becomes that long-term change, and you're going to feel the difference. You need to start it, and you'll feel the difference. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of exercise brings me joy? So imagine like children playing. Or when we were children, right? We used to go and run around and stuff. Not because we hated our bodies, or not. It's because we wanted to have fun, and we really had
Yeah.
fun. So I think where did that disappear as we grew up? Why aren't we exercising to feel the difference and to feel that fun and to feel happy? And that's something that we need to get back into our normal lifestyle as well.